Hello, warriors. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Start right off the bat. Okay. All right, we are back to the interviews. I sincerely apologize for the short little delay. As you guys see, I announced it. I did something to my wrist, still not sure what. Anyways, we now have with us Divine Unisouls, our beautiful Bertina.
Hi.
My sissy. And she was supposed to be our interviewee the other day when I had to cancel. So she is here tonight, and we are going to do this interview. Come hell or high water, no technical difficulty will get to us.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm going to dive right in. The first question is what led you to, what led up to your spiritual ascension? What was the catalyst?
You know what? And I've watched all of the interviews, just about. I think I got to about Sasha's and got halfway, and I was like, "Ooh, this is deep." But I pretty much I seen Sean's and the rest of them, and I was like, "Yeah, what is the catalyst?" And Spirit was like, "You had many catalyst moments. I can't really say it was one. I could say the moment that I've always even spoken on my channel about my mom and how that moment um, that I was in the room by myself as a baby and have that memory and how the way my development of my mind of having an overactive mind kind of started me to mold myself to how I view the world from that point on. So that could be a catalyst moment there. I could say a time when I found my voice with my grandmother when it was a difference. I asked about my dad and I was asking about him, about why he slept so much. And she didn't give me the answer that I wanted because I wanted to make chocolate chip cookies. And she's like, well, you can make it yourself. And I was like, but I want you to make it. I just wanted that extra loving from her. She's like, you can make it. And I was like, I'm not staying here anymore. So this is the last time I'll be here. So that could be a catalyst moment for me that I found my voice and say, hey, when something don't feel right and I don't like the energy, I check out and I go. Another catalyst moment would be also when I found my twin as well. At first, beforehand, I thought that the person would be the catalyst twin was the one. To me, we were pretty much in sync. That was in high school. That's my high school sweetheart. I thought we were going to marry, have kids, the whole 9 yards. But I remember he had an accident that was in high school that was very traumatic, and for him and for me. That he had was like almost, well, he did. He drowned underneath the water and he died for a couple of seconds. I knew that when he came back, something about in his soul we couldn't not connect anymore. And I don't know what happened and what transpired, but I always say I believe that some kind of way his whatever that soul where we had connections there left and said it went to check out. I almost say he almost had like a walk-in. Something else took over his body. And the person that I know, I didn't know anymore. We tried to connect again. He went on and had married. And he married also while he was trying to continue a relationship with me. And I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. And I asked him, why out of all of it, why didn't you choose me? That kind of started from that point on when I was like, okay, you know what? This is it because you married, you didn't let me know you were married. I'm in this relationship involuntarily, and I'm the third party in that one. And so then I was like, you know what? This isn't this. Have got to go off and work on myself. By that time, I was like, I'm ready. I'm gonna start all over again. I'm going out here and start a relationship. And in walks in the twin. Um, that would be the catalyst. I would say also up to date. If I fast forward, I would say that would be one because I knew at that point that there was something different about him. But at first, I did not accept it because I still had my heart still checked in on the callous twin. I was like, it's still we're supposed to finish that. Something about that, yeah. But in my heart, I knew I like it's over. It's not it. It's not like this one. So I was kind of like battling in between my heart, almost still carrying third energy too as well because I was still locked in on the callous my high school sweetheart and not giving myself wholeheartedly to the twin, because the way he came in, he was kind of like Casanova in the first place. So I was like, I don't think I have no connection with that, because you're nothing like the guys that I usually date, or nothing like the ones that I'm attracted to. And we know on this twin flame journey, they don't come most of the time. They're not the ones that you usually date.
But there's your lesson in receiving, though, too.
Right. And so then I was like, okay, all right, I guess I can get with you. He had a lot of things that was in common, that I was like, okay, maybe I kind of give you a try. He went on ahead, because I wasn't giving him a play. He went on to proceed to start talking to some other young lady at the party there. And some things transpired with that. And I was like, okay, what deuces? That's it on that. And so he asked my other friend, she deceased, interested enough with her. She was the one that had kissed my sweetheart, my high school sweetheart. And that broke it off with it. And I said, oh no, I know I ain't doing this, because he up there looking at somebody else. I'm finished with that. And she in turn was the one who turned around and introduced me to my twin, which I thought was very fascinating. She's passed on now as well, but I can credit it her for. It's almost like, I know I messed that I showed you wasn't the right person, and now I'm gonna show you who's the right person for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting with her. And so with him, he went to talk to her and asked her, can we get back, is there some kind of way she can work it out so we can date, because he know he had messed it up. I was pissed. I was like, oh, okay, this is how we playing. So I don't give you no play, but you're gonna do something in front of me, and now you concentrate on this other person. So lo and behold, we did go on our date, and we did get on track, and it's been a in between struggle with that. That's the catalyst there of understanding of who I am with him. It's been interesting journey, because even that's been a catalyst about knowing and receiving somebody that I would not in a million years thought I would date nor be attracted to, but after time I have learned how to be. Him then fast forwarding, making a choice to make a serious commitment into another situation in the third energies, that catalyzed me to go and start the channel, because out of heartache, and I told him that, I said I had to go and do something to redirect my energies and say, hey, you know what, am I the only one that's out here feeling this way as a twin flame? And to this day I cannot remember how I found out how I was a twin flame. I cannot. No, I can't go back. I've sat down and said, okay, when did you find out? When did you find out? When did you find out? And I'm like, I cannot remember when I found out. All I can remember is that I had videos. I started watching Elizabeth London. She's been gone. She was interesting. One that really had talked about how she helped me to know about numbers. She's the one that helped me with card readings. She was the one that, I mean, really had given me like a real nice mentor on
Mm-hmm.
video on YouTube. Then there was another guy, his name was Luke Cassell. And he was the one that was talking about how you could blend the religious and the spirituality all together on this twin flame journey. And then one day he just upped and he said, I'm changing channels. And then he shut his whole channel down. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, is this what it's about? So both of them back to back have shown me, a lot of them that on this twin flame journey seemed like, it's like I found myself, because she was like, at one point, she was one that showed me that you kind of bounced around from person to person to person. She was going with this guy she thought was a twin, and then she divorced her husband, and she was over in, I think it's the Netherlands. And she was an interesting thing to help me to understand. You've got to be expansive. That's a good word on this journey. You can't really be like, hey, I wanted to go like this way, like you're putting bumpers on a bowling
Yeah.
alley. That ain't gonna work. You got to kind of go with the flow, because she told us everything. She was very vulnerable about that. My husband, I told her no. I tried this twin 2.0, And then I was like, forget the twin because he don't look like he's ready. And I was like, oh, I ain't never heard this before. This is at the beginning. And so she helped me to understand that you got to, this is an expansive process when we're talking about on it. It's like expanding. You can think it's like this, and then you find yourself opening up. They're showing me like a paper thing. Where you it's
Mhm.
like this, like those Tupperware things, and the more you open it up, you get more capacity to feel inside of it. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that being with on this journey has helped me to understand that I've got to be expansive. I can't really be limited by one kind of way. So the masculine made this choice to make this serious commitment, and I was like, I'm crushed, and I don't know what to do. And so the channel, like I always say, saved my life because through that process, I learned more about the journey. I learned more about myself. I grew into more of a leader, understanding of, you know, being vulnerable, but then at the same standing in my truth because I kind of lost my voice when I about making the cookies. I lost my voice also in dealing with the relationship that I have with my mom because I've always been very outspoken and being very outspoken. My mom didn't know how to handle it because I'm an Aries. So, you know, Aries like, flame on. So we're going to give it to you. Like some people don't know how to really react to that. They're like, oh God, you know, and we don't mean any harm, but that's just the way we come out at you with all this in your face kind of action. And so that was another thing that me finding my voice. And so as I've gone along, I would say I could say the next catalyst would be having the channel, and then having the channel and connecting with people, and having the channel and connected to people and seeing people that saying, okay, uh, not so much about the connecting with you. You know, it's interesting the events that's happening. I had to learn how to adjust to that, you know, and then I had to also learn how to adjust to the way the YouTube is and the fluctuation of having viewers and not. That's been a catalyst too, as well. Understanding that that's a childhood wound that it was tapping into pleasing, people pleasing. Oh, the subscriber's not doing this or this or that, and so that's another thing that's a catalyst. Say, okay, you know what, you're good because this channel too had made me go into that imposter syndrome. And I had to
Mm.
go deal with that. They say, no, you good. You know what you're doing. I mean, I thank God that my mom has always supported about that because my mom came from a long line of people that could be able to see. My grandmother was very good. Car readings, she could give you dates about something. Oh, he walked out, you're like, okay, he'll be back January 24th, 22. Don't worry about it. Okay. The Lord
That's
behold, January,
specific.
she's that specific.
Wow.
3 months, 6 months, that specific. And so then lo and behold, they come in, dang, this the date. They're back in the like, oh, okay. So you know, she was and they call that a Cassandra because she could be able to know about time. She worked with time. And so I'm kind of like that too. I could say different things. I don't know. I'm very specific, but I could give you like a roundabout date. And that's why I created my cards after her because if I use those cards, they're pretty much very exact about the dates on things. She's very much a helping as one of my guides too, as well. Because like my mom says, when I have events, she could tell. She said, "Whoop, your grandmother's here. I just seen her walk in." And I said, okay. She comes and follows me, and she sits and does the events with me. Or if it's big readings too, as well. My mom is the same way. She can see things, knows people, look at them for a while, and she'll give you everything that's wrong with them, what's going on with their life. Is this to the point to my friends? I send pictures of of these potential people. And like here it is. And so then like my reading like, okay, that person's sneaky. He drink alcohol on the slide. So like, wow. So she can read people
Oh,
very too as well. So I've come from a long line of this. This is just not me. My uncle has it. My grandfather had it. So it goes all the way down. So I come from a lineage of those that know how to tap in. So I wanted to
Oh.
And so that's another too because she's prepared me for that. Cut it out and get yourself straight. That's enough. I'm gonna get the message out. Excuse me, people. I'm gonna get it out because I see
Yeah,
that
it
visual.
glitched for a
Not
second,
gonna
and
happen.
I'm like, oh no, you don't.
I got to fight back. So I digress. So that is that's another catalyst, and but I came from and this looking at this journey beyond from just the illusions. I was born. I heard Sean talk about that about his religion. I'm metaphysical, non-denominational, so we always were one that looks into the Bible and takes it for what it metaphysically means. So just like when I'm doing Sunday about the seven deadly sins, I'm not looking at it from the religious standpoint of talking about sin. I'm looking at what sin means metaphysically means you have missed the mark. So like we're going on the exit, like you're going on the highway and you're going on the trip, and they say get off at Highway 85, and you keep on going and you miss exit I-85 exit. That's called you a sin. You have missed the mark because 85 was going to lead you to your destination. And
Mm.
that's the same thing like we're saying about the seven deadly sins. Is there seven things in your life that you are doing, such as based upon the seven deadly sins, that you are missing where it's going to lead you to go where you're destined to be. And so that's why again, I guess I'm just sipping in because they give me segues. So about that, so that's why I came up with that, and I'll talk about that later. So I'll be good. But that is what that's why I came up with it because I was like, these are seven areas that if we can control that and get it a little bit more fine tuned, because it's going to happen. You're going to have those. But if you see that you're about to miss the exit and you can do something about it and say, maybe I need to pay more attention, be more aware about things in my locations or landmarks and things like that, that's going to help you because these things are going to happen because this is Earth, this is a teachable planet. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have these things happen and occur. But if I can give you some little pointers and say, hey, when this anger come up, this is what you do. When you have this lust or you're jealous about somebody else, this or envy, this is what you need to do. So that's why I said that's why I came up with the seven deadly sins for that. But we'll talk about more down the road about how that is. So I'll be good. I think that's pretty much. I didn't went through all my catalyst moments. And I was listening to everybody. That's like, yeah, you got one major one, but they show me almost like a tree. Let's
Mm-hmm.
branch off into other catalysts, little mini things that kind of all connect as to why these catalyst moments. It's never always just one. There's
The
several.
roots that I was being shown in the channel message that I got the other day.
Yeah.
It's right smack dab in the middle of all the interviews, and that's what they were showing me. And I knew that it was going to end up coming up with you.
Right.
With
Okay.
how, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's what it say. I say I can't wait. She said, "Cat." I said, "I got catalysts, sis." And I was
um,
wow.
one thing that I have loved when it comes to you is you termed, especially, and it had just gotten to me where it was becoming a journey and I was becoming very tired and weary, and all of a sudden it's like you flips the switch and the next morning you're like, you know what, this is an adventure, we're not going to call it a journey anymore, we're going to call it an adventure. And I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. All right. And then your willingness, like when source speaks to you and says change it up, it's like, there we go, and you do it. And for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people that watch your channel, that has been so helpful. So I don't know, it's just something that listening to you and everything, I needed to express that to you.
Okay, thank you. And you know what? And the very thing that you saying that you're praising about is the very thing that I beat myself up about. That they're saying maybe I'm moving too fast or I'm switching too much. But I've learned now on this journey is really now where we are, and I would say even the new waves. I know I'm jumping. That, and I am being good because I'm just following what they tell me where to go.
Mhm.
Is that again that you'll find yourself that you just got to accept the flow of where it's kind of like pushing you to go. No, that's for him. Now I don't know which guy he likes to rhyme things, very Shakespearean. They like to. They say they corrected me. Like to use Shakespearean, where they like to rhyme. So what it is again that sometimes it's like, hey, you've got to kind of switch it up. You'll find yourself because you get stagnation on this journey, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes spirit is instant than you are, and sometimes spirit is changing things. Sometimes they're giving us more information. What we thought was true yesterday is not the same today. We probably, even you and I've been on this journey for quite some time. You longer than me. On that, what we how we playing things. Because before we started on that, well, I'm masculine and he's feminine. I knew that when I looked at it in the first day. But now, as I'm going on this journey, it's like, no, we swap. It depends
Mm-hmm.
on what's going on. Maybe I might feel much comfortable being the masculine and he feels more comfortable to be the feminine, but that's not truly us being divine, because we
Mm-hmm.
got to learn how to kind of like swing between those different energies, and it depends on the situation too that you become. But even across the board in the spiritual community, we always like, no, I'm the masculine, he the feminine, or because I'm a female, I'm the feminine. And then spirit kind of start releasing and say, you know what, I think it's time for us to kind of release some more information about what's going on. They got that down pat. Now throw them something else. And it's like, what
Last year,
now?
was it
Right.
yeah, last October or November is when they showed me, and Sean and I were just talking about this afternoon, the infinity symbol. And it's like I was sharing the infinity symbol, and it's so crazy because I was showing me and my masculine like on little trains sitting on there, and like each tossing the conductor, and whenever it would go over the loop, toss it back, your turn today, babe, your turn today, babe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and then feminine tends to lead spiritually, masculine tends to lead physically. But just like Sean said too, it goes even deeper than that because we're not really either or. We're just, you know.
Right, right,
So
right.
I mean, and it our knowledge changes from day to day to day.
Day to day, right? You
Yeah.
got to be, and what's the new term that the kids are coming up? I'm asexual or affluent or whatever it is. It's a something, wherever it is. Like I don't define who I like to be with, man or female. I'm just fluent. I think it's called I'm fluent. Maybe like I heard some young person. I might have tapped it to my niece or something. Like she says, call I'm fluent. I'm just fluent. That I don't pick either way it
Hmm.
goes. And in the way interesting the times are pushing
I don't
to,
know.
and there the young people have gotten it and understand it. I call it the trickle-down effect, because when I was in business, they always say things either trickle up down from the higher echelon or elite and down to us, or it comes from us and it flows up. And so,
Mhm.
that would be one is saying, okay, we thinking we've got it, the new waivers, but they're the ones that are people out there in the masses or in the world are kicking it back to us. It's like, yeah, y'all got it, and we ain't got it for twin flame. We need to be fluent.
Mhm.
We need to be fluent.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. We shouldn't define ourselves. Society, now some things, in society, they do have good things. Like, no, we need to be fluent. It's like, no, I like boys and girls. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, it's like whatever. I like divine feminine and masculine energies. It depends on what I feel like for the day.
Mhm.
Like my clothes.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's that expansive knowledge, and like it's I don't know about you, but I know when they give me a glimpse of what things are going to look like, and you just get that little glimpse, and it's like, you get so excited about it because you can feel the energy coming off of it. And I mean, I for one feel special that I get the little glimpses. You know what I'm saying? Being a conductor for Source and everything, and just I've seen, like you said, the fluidness of what and how it's going to look. In I'm not even gonna say in the end because the end is going to be the beginning. Okay, I'm off track. But when we get to where we're trying to get to, you know, us and everything, and our children and grandchildren and everything, the next few generations, and yeah, fluid is it sounds right, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very much so. I mean, because I've even said that, being divine, if you think about spirit, and spirit is in everything, okay, and that's what my metaphysical beliefs and I has been taught to be. If spirit is in everything and is able to do all things, then if we are divine and we are mirroring back in the image and likeness of source, the one that created us, then we should be able to do that too. So that means, again, if source is both energies, and they
Mm-hmm.
say, and it's another one. Well, don't throw that in there because I don't think none of us ready for it. Well, we ready for it, but you want to break that down. I just heard him say, nah, and it's another energy, but we'll talk about that later. Like that. If we're all these energies, like a facet of a diamond that you can see all different things, then again, we are too. So we cannot claim
Mm-hmm.
one without the other. And
Yep.
we have to do both of that. And that's like you got a source and Mother Gaia, and together those two energies help to make and create who we are. And that's just like a mother and father. You got two different races. You can't claim one and the other. I kind of disagree with that. You got to make sure that you say, hey, yeah, I am Irish and I'm African American. It's all together. You have to, all of that makes up who you are. And that's the same thing when we're talking about being divine. We are all of those encompass of energies too, as well. Rather it's
Mm-hmm.
light, shadow, negative, positive, divine masculine, feminine, whatever it is like that. We're made up of all
Yeah.
of those encompass things too.
Yes. Okay. I heard pushback when you said the negative, the positive. Anyone out there who thinks that you're not part of the negative, no, learn a little bit more.
Right. You need to
Just
learn.
take a minute.
Right. It take a minute because you know what, and I used to especially where I came from, and I don't know if that's religious, what we say about background, or even when we talk about spirituality too as well. I came from a place that you say, okay, negative, the things that we even in the metaphysical don't even claim any negative, and we don't even claim the existence of the negative image or whatever the thing that you are say that we link to, that's the all comers or icon for negativity. We don't even claim that. We don't even
Yeah.
say the name. We don't even do that. And I kind of semi still take on that thing. But the more and more that I have gotten into this walk, understanding, I ran across a quote that somebody was saying that say, if you don't really acknowledge your light and your shadow, then that means you don't know your worth. And I was like, wow, that's like,
Yes.
because it's like, and I can't, I wish I know who it is because I don't want to be taking else's quote, but I was like, you're right, because you need to know, hey, when this stuff, people push my buttons and I get pissed off and angry, that's me. Now it's the how I react and how I handle it. Now if I keep on going and I go blasting Jasmine Sullivan, I want to bust out the windows out my DM's car because he made that decision, then we got a little problem. Okay. Then we went off the field, but it's all right for you to be angry. I'll talk about that too, of course. But my thing is, we got to kind of understand that's who we are. We cannot deny that. We're still human.
Mm-hmm.
We're human beings having a spiritual experience. I know it's another quote they got out there as well about that goes beyond that. But my thing is, we got to understand that comes in it. That helps us. That's about being divine. Is the negativity too,
Mm-hmm.
and how we handle and how we manage that
Yeah.
as well. So that's part of it. I think about Guru, he said the other day about people in stress, and he said it's not about the job that stress you out or the husband that stress you out about that. He said what you're saying is that you're managing your emotions badly. That's what it means. They say they don't have that. They ain't doing it to you. You how
Perfect.
to handle your emotions.
And I bet you that triggers a lot of people when they come
Right,
across that. Yeah. Yeah.
right. It say, and that don't. I
It
say
would have triggered me. Yeah, what, 3 years ago? It would have triggered me
right.
hard.
Right. It's like, y'all, oh, they gonna argue down. Oh, nah, you can't tell me. My mother get on my nerves. She talk about me, say I ain't about nothing, and You try to tell me she ain't stressed me out. It's how you handle the
Hmm.
situation. I was like, that's true, and I've used that even on the job now. I said, okay, don't say the kids stress you out as the principal. The job is doing it. Now, how you managing your emotions when these things? Because
Yeah.
people gonna do what they gonna do. That's their job.
Mm-hmm. You can either react or respond.
Right. That they gonna do it. You walk around and expect that. I think sometimes when we think that we're spiritually, it's like, oh no, namaste. The whole environment is gonna turn into a peaceful world, and and no, this is not going. It's not going to do that. It's that I'm sorry. It's not going to do that because it needs to help to, as April has said, it's got to do that just like a diamond. We got to kind of push and ding and put that pressurize on your heat so
Mm-hmm.
you can come out and truly be divine. I said before and I thank my DM very much so because before he came in, I thought I was living until after I found I said, no, this like the song said, this ain't living. No,
Yeah.
this is not. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
I had it down, the ego. I'm doing everything. I'm surviving. And I found out through him, I'm surviving. I'm not handling. I'm not managing things right. I'm not manifesting to my full potential. And so again, it's like they say, he come to awaken you. Now I didn't like the way he awakened me, but
Do we ever? No.
no, I ain't gonna say that, but I do thank him for coming along and saying, okay, this is the time we need to come together and we need to awaken. Because I could tell when the first time he had laid eyes on me, he acted really like, my God, it's her. Was messing with my friend's hair that passed on and this shoveling her hair. She's like, what the hell they got into you? If you don't go and sit down somewhere, leave my hair alone. She had got fresh perm and everything. And she's looking at him like, what the hell? So I could tell, I knew then instinctively, like, wait a second, this man acting like he done seen Santa Claus when he looked at me. What is this? So, that's my moment I knew, especially when I looked into his eyes. He had pink flames coming out of it. I remember that because I thought his eyes was light, but that's how I knew that was a signal to me that this man here is special to me. He's not like everybody else.
Wow. Okay. Um, there's rewinding just a little bit
Okay.
about the integration of light and dark. There's a quote, and I don't want to butcher it, but it basically essentially says the reason why I started laughing so hard about what you said, about the namaste and this, that, and the other, is because
Right.
there was a quote that I came across a couple weeks ago
Okay.
about that. If you're it's like that's everybody's idea of what awakening is and stuff, but if you're not taking the time to integrate that light and that dark and go through the karmic lessons and nurture your inner child and stuff like that, you're not doing it right.
Right.
um that being said, what setbacks, and we don't really have setbacks, but the terminology, I'm going to use the terminology, or go with lessons that, karmic lessons, cycles, or whatnot, that see, even if it's the same one but with different aspects, which one is the one that kept coming up most with you? And what type of like healing modality did you use, if any, to help push through it, clear it out?
It's like I'm fighting between two of them. I would say one of the setbacks is that I kept attracting men that was like, yeah, but no, it's not you, it's me. This right now, and I'm gonna go off and invest in all this time. We're fine, and then this out of the blue is like, okay, I'm off, and I'm gonna go start with somebody else. That was I could see when I did that. That's pain in the neck. So that would be one of the things, yeah, that I would say that happens continually happening. And the another setback, how did I get over that? Well, I would say I'm not over that. I'm still progressing and working with that. I'll be honest with that because the first Callus twin, he came in with the same script and line. I always say these are same characters, but different actors come to teach the same
Mm-hmm.
daggone lesson that you ain't got yet. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, here we go. He's reading the same script. Okay, it's not you. I'm going to go marry somebody. Blah 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 blah. DM. Okay, all right, same script. And so it's like okay. After a while, I'm getting a lot of messages. Spirit will always bring to me, hey, you need to be working on this. Like he said today, it's like, listen, you can't keep on saying it's other people. It's something within you. Your little world is creating this, what's so within, so without, that's creating the same script that they're reading from. And so you've got to change the dialogue and the script, just like at the bottom of the text that's
Yeah.
being shown to yourself, because they are feeding off of that energy. You don't know it. So now I'm trying to get down to the source to see what's going on. One of the main things, again, I think, again, is the mind. That's one of my setbacks, that, again, where I overthinking, over processing that. And now I've gotten to a point now when it comes to the mind. And I think also, I'm not the only one. I think that's another thing that we got to get over as twin flames, or people, is this mind to move into, like Sean has said, into the divine mind. But this
Mm-hmm.
mind here, what I'm now working with is that the mind here is not an enemy, which is, again, that we are working together. So I'm stopping judging my mind when it spirals out and it starts thinking all these 50 million different scenarios and what's going on. And it's just more so of like a parent is like, okay, like a kid,
Uh-huh.
see them kind of going on them tantrums, like, okay, go do it. Go do it. Okay. And then after it's finished, like, okay, are you finished now? Okay.
Because if not, you can run into guilt.
Right, right. And so it's like, okay, are you finished now? Okay. So now, what is that process for you to be thinking about 50 million different things, all some of the with worst outcomes? How did
Mm-hmm.
it help you? Okay. And then now I kind of redirect that. Now, so now I don't try to stop it, because the more I try to stop it, the more it powerful and more intense it becomes. So
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at now with my mind is like, okay, go on ahead and do it. Now I went back to where I said that catalyst moment about my mom. And like I said, and April kind of helped. She said that the other day too, about how at the time when we were raised, my mom had believed in that Dr. Spock man who was saying that, let the baby cry. And that's it, and how we were built. I think Sean said that too in his thing. Well, back in those days, everything was fear based. They didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that, but she was doing the best that she knows. And I know how mom is. Mom's just like me. I'm reading the book. The book says X, Y, Z. I'm do X, Y, Z. She cry. I leave it in there. She'll self soothe. That's it. But at the same time, it created a thing in my
Mm-hmm.
mind where I'm trying to find ways to make myself feel safe.
Yeah.
And so now I'm finding out when my mind spirals out and somebody says something like that, I said, okay, you're trying to make yourself feel safe. Okay, okay, okay. Let you go on ahead and do it. It's almost similar like me in that room crying. Go on ahead, talk. Okay, now it starts to dwindle the conversation. Okay, now, and then I start to move in and start to reparent and saying things to kind of now. And that's been very helpful, because beforehand it was like, and I was saying my mind, but see, my mind is a beautiful thing. Like I told myself, I said, you come up with a lot of ideas when it does that. So it can't be all bad.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be all bad. It's just the way of which we've got to retrain the pattern of this overactive mind
Yeah.
too as well. And so that's where I'm at there. So that's healing. So that's a work in progress too as well. I won't say I'm like fully over the hump with those. So those are the two things.
That is, I'm just getting very, very strongly that is going to help a lot of people.
I hope so. I hope so, because it's helped me. It really has. I just let it go. So okay. Before I know, when I feel it's just taping out like it's about to say, and say, okay, now I jump in. And then I
Yeah.
become the parent. Okay, that's right. Now what did you learn from that? And then start from that point on. Sometimes it might go on. I say, okay, go on, just because I can tell you really feeling really passionate. It's almost like a child or a teenager. Like I really feel he left me. Like I was supposed to go to prom with him. It's almost like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And they going on, and when you got teenagers, you can't stop to say, okay, all right, she coming back again. I thought we was finished with this. Okay, she coming back. So and I
Are
think
you
that,
listening to me? No, I'm making
uh,
you some pizza rolls so you can eat and shut your mouth. Oh.
all right. So that's how my brain is like. Okay, she's back again. I'm like, oh, she's back again. Okay, so go on talk. Uh, so I had to find myself divided and reparenting. myself. I thank God to me doing the series about the healing the inner child. That's why I know that if nothing else, I walked away from that was about reparenting. See, because even when I come up with stuff, like I said, I use my stuff and to help me.
Mhm.
It's like I
Yeah.
just come up with the junk and say, "Who? Here you go. Give me your $9.99 so I can go." No, I use it myself.
Oh yeah. And I remember going through when you were doing that, and I've actually gone back to it twice, and I've passed it on to other people. So, for those of you who are not really familiar with her channel, or new or whatever, go. It might take you a minute to find them, but go back and search for her reparenting the inner child and watch them. Seriously, I mean, they're not long. They're maybe about an hour long each, if
Right.
even that.
Mm-hmm.
But take notes, watch them, because she explains everything. And I'm going to tell you, you'll go back and you'll find those notes again, or you'll go back and you'll find those videos again, and they help.
Yeah, yeah. It's on there. I got a playlist over there. So if you go to my playlist, it's listed on there. Healing the Inner Child. Because I had to look at that when I was doing my research for my next course that I'm doing. And I found it and I was like, oh, okay, here it is. So yeah, make sure that you do that as well. And I put that even in the community tab too as well. I said you some spirit is telling me, because I think we're dealing with childhood too. That stuff is bubbling
Mm-hmm.
up. And so I say, please go back and look in there and see if anything kind of like, oh, this strikes me. Okay, what's this? Judgment. Okay, what's that about? Or, rejection. Okay, what's that about? That kind of appeals to me. Exploitation. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff. So, kind of look and see.
Okay. There's some, okay, even if you don't either recognize what it is, like she just said, exploitation, some of you guys may not register, not know what it is, and think that it won't apply to you. Watch it anyway. Watch all of them, because I'm telling you right now, there's going to be at least one thing in every single one of them that you're going to go, oh,
Right,
and it's going to help you.
right. Yeah. Not just because I did it, but it's like, oh, I thought that was that. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them branch out to either going back to their roots again, branch out again to other ones too as well. That you
Definitely.
say, oh, this connects to this and this connects. Oh, and that showed up like this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I said and to get people in, I said, watch it like you're looking for your DM. Like I want to see what's going on with your person, your counterpart. Not even that, because that's when we were saying DM. So look at your counterpart and look and see. Oh yeah, that's it. And then after a while, like go back and look at it and see yourself. Like, oh, wait a second. Oh, that is me.
Yep.
Oh, that's me. Oh yeah, that's me. Oh God.
True.
I need to go
True.
see a therapist. I need to go see Sean. Or Stephanie. I gotta see somebody. Somebody
Oh
help.
my goodness.
Yes, because stuff like this is not right. It's not right on here. I thought I was right, but I'm not.
Okay. Um, they're wanting me to go off cuff a little bit.
Okay.
The next question is that, as a leader in the TF spiritual community, what advice would you give to those who are newly ascending? The thing is that throughout this whole thing, you have pretty much nuggets and nuggets and nuggets and nuggets of advice. Um, so instead of advice, what would you, the biggest thing that you have seen? Okay, I'm listening to them feed it into me, and
I know how you operate, so we can.
it's sometimes it comes out as gibberish, and I have to sit there and
I
wait for it to
know.
translate. It's I love you guys, but it's more like because you have seen and spoken to so many on this little beautiful adventure. What is the one thing that you tend to notice that like you could say 9 times out of 10, you see us, and I'm going to lump myself up in there too, starting to do that we should do our best to steer from.
Stop looking for it to go for a specific outcome. Because, it seems like when I'm client after client, I call it like this. I talk to clients and they got that active mind thing too. It's like, yeah, I hear you. I got you. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. Yeah, okay. All right there. But, this X, Y, and Z is still happening. It's like, oh, I call it like I'm pushing, I'm coming to you where you want me to go. And then I'm going to come right back to where I'm supposed to. And like, okay, this looks like this is a waste of my hour of me talking to you because you look like you're dead set on whatever ideologies that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes from even people that's leaders themselves. It's like be open and expansive to I think with twin flames and they said we kind of think that we know it all. And I've seen some even said that as well as us on this walk. And it's not like it's like an arrogant I know it all, but it's like I'm holding on to something that I already know and that I'm comfortable with, and it's like the devil I know, and I'm not ready to release it for anything new to come in.
Yeah.
Uh, that's one thing. You cannot specifically. I'm thinking of one person, and it kind of spans out to everybody else. You can't come in and think of just like I said at the beginning about me and my DM. He is not coming in the wall, and I know definitely I'm not his because I didn't confronted him on that. I was like, "Dang, you done been with everybody light in other nationalities. I ain't seen you mess with too much of the chocolate fair." Uh, I said, if you don't stay on topic of what we talking about. You didn't win all. I'm like, oh, okay. So that lets you know that hey, you it's not what you think it's going to be on this
Yeah.
journey. The person, the way they look, things are going to happen. You have to be very open minded. And I think a lot of times we close minded, and that goes back again to saying, I think I know what I know. And I've said in this journey, and I've said this or even on here, you've got what you think you don't know, and what you know you don't know. So it's like you can't really come in confining using the old ideologies about earth that you know or what you've grown up to know to be, because we always talk about this stuff is all built upon illusions. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's about illusions, that means if I put my foot down, it's gonna sink like sinking sand. I can't really put no firm footing on this journey and say if I'm based upon what beliefs and ideologies that I have as far as 3D relationships. And like Lee had even opened my eyes to saying that when I watched him the other day. We can't base it, and I've been saying that you can't base it upon 3D relationships because it
Yeah.
don't work. That stuff don't it's like
Definitely.
it don't go. It's about connection. Where's the connection from? Your heart. So you gotta go back with your heart. Now your heart might look totally different than what's going on in the 3D to say, hey, you want me to be with him and he in that? Oh, hell no. Now in the 3D thing, it's like, mm-mm. But in twin flame world, it's like we're connected. Wherever he goes, I go. And we have that love. I can't deny that because if I deny that, then that means I'm
Mm-hmm.
denying myself. We
Yep.
are connected. Now, how it's going to look, how we're going to do it, is a day by day process. And I got a lot of clients and people say, oh, no, he doing X, Y, Z. Oh, hell no, I ain't doing that. He out there on his own. He figure that out. Or she doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm not gonna do that because she degrading me. No. So my thing is, you do what is also comfortable for you, but at the same time, you got to be open. And then the word it keep on leading me to the word of the day in Mr. Robinson's neighborhood or Divine Sunshine's neighborhood is expansion. You
Mm-hmm.
got to be expansive. You got to be like the collapsible Tupperware thing where you open it up and you can fill it up with different things. You cannot be saying, "No, I'm staying just like this." Well, okay, you want to put some stuff inside the container. If you keep flat like this, ain't nothing gonna get in, right? So it's like you got to be. This is some blow your mind stuff. And you got to remember again, as us as twin flames, we come in to change a new template. That's across the board. Every reader has said that. new template of love. This ain't nothing that it to be. And then I'm like mom and also scientists say, if you got a lot of people saying the same things, then after a while it can be scientifically a fact. Because we are coming here setting something new. That means it's new for you as far as what it is love and connected to another person, another being. And it's new for how we're going to show up in the world for everybody else to have an understanding of a definition of what love is. A lot of times, like I said, when I'm dealing with clients, they like, I hear you, but that's what I hear. I hear you, but which
yeah, that but is born of ego.
Right. We're going right back to that.
Yep.
And understanding you got to be open. You got to be, again, you got to be open to this. It's not going to be the way that you think. And you can't control it. You can't say, hey, I want this and that.
Yeah.
The more you go try to control it, the more it goes like
there it goes.
It's not, and I found myself even with that. I was like, but I want, and I understand that, you get with them and, stuff is flowing and you're like, oh my God, this is like heaven on damn earth. I want more of this. Woo, Lord, I want more of this. Lord, behold, and you like, okay, we're going to make it work. Okay, all right, we on this groove, me and him grooving. And then next thing you know, ain't no communication. What the hell? You ain't calling no more? What? He's going somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so, that's again, you trying to, again, subconsciously trying to wheel it, WILL, wheel it in. And the spirit's like, no, it don't go like this. This is just like that water that she's drinking. It's fluid.
Don't be like Bertina. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Bertina and I were talking before we came on, and y'all, let me tell you, I manifested in our first third party, and I manifested in our second one with the same process and dynamic. I mean, it was identical, only in a shorter time span. And let me tell y'all, y'all got to get out your heads and stop trying to control it, because when you do that, you're not manifesting the good. You're manifesting all your fears.
Right.
And it's gonna play out, and it's gonna be like a little play starring you and your counterpart.
Right.
All the fears that you can think of. That it's if you wake up one morning after everything's been going great, and suddenly it's like, and you're like, no, this is gonna start happening, and this is gonna start happening because it happened before. No, get out of it. Stop trying to control it. Another thing they kept bringing to me with the word expansive, if you guys are having trouble understanding what she means by expansive, imagine Santa Claus' toy bag. It never gets full. It's always...
Right. That's a good one. I like that. Yay.
All they were showing me was this bag being slung over her shoulders, and that's why I'm sitting here laughing. I'm like, you guys, really?
Right. That is true. It just never does. It never does. It never ends. It never ends. Right. Because you're like, dang, how you get that hoverboard and that PS4 and that 60-inch TV up in that bag, Santa Claus? Talk to me.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So most definitely, it was something else I said. It came to me, but I forgot it. But yeah. Goodbye.
Oh. Your dad.
My dad. Oh,
he likes to show off sometimes. You look as beautiful as your mother.
Don't have me cry.
He always smells so good too.
He does. Oh my God, that's oh my Jesus. I $10, I call him, because I love to dress him.
Yeah, I love it when he comes in, because he'll be either humming or singing "You Are My Sunshine." That's what he always does when it comes to you.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. All right. We're gonna. Oh my goodness, we're at 54:20. Okay, we're gonna. I want you to take a few minutes and throw out whatever promotions you got going on. Your next class is coming up, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay, so as I get my thing out, look, thank you, Daddy. You know I love him. Um, with that, and the class is the seven deadly sins, which I talked about that earlier, which is helping us understand how we missed the mark again. And so, as we miss the mark, understanding what the things, the routes that we're taking, the wrong things, such as through the things, the lust, the gluttony, the sloth, all those things. So this Sunday, I'm gonna wait until Spirit leads me as to which one He wants me to lead off first with, to kind of really get you all's appetite wet for it. But I am going to cover in that hour. I believe I should cover everything, which is the childhood wounds that are attached to the seven deadly sins. The laminar flow, which is helping us to understand that there's a flow to energy. And sometimes when we flow one way in one type of sin, and it kind of goes into chaos, a transition, which is about to lead into chaos or turbulence in our flow. Which is we want to always be constantly in that flow really well, but sometimes that sin kind of stops us from being able to produce things. Also about how it's blocking us in a different chakra, because each one of those sins are housed in our chakras as well. And then what actions and things that we can take, how it affects us in our daily lives. So we'll cover all of that stuff in the hour. So if you want to take my course, it's going to be a 7-week course. We meet on Sundays. It's 2 hours. The first hour is me doing teaching. The second hour is for Q&A. And all of these things are going to be taped recordings. I will take them, and at the end you'll get all my presentations that I've shown and the recordings too as well. But I want to wait until the end, because I might go in and might be inspired to add something else to the presentation that I said, oh, they need this after I teach the course. So I want to wait until the end, and once it's over with, people who take the course can get it. And it's $77. Spirit has instructed me to wait and leave that until 12:15. So I'm gonna do the course Sunday. I'm gonna do the course Sunday, and then I'm gonna leave it up there to 12:15, so you can still get $77. And then also afterwards, it will be $124. And then midway, it'll turn into $147 after the fourth class, and then afterwards it'll be $222 for the whole thing. If after the course is done, which will be 130. I also have a code I will give. I've been instructed to do that too, where I'm gonna knock it down from 12:15 up into 12:15. It'll just be $50. After that, it's gonna jump right on straight up there to $124, because I understand Spirit about to be said. Did you forget it's Christmas? And people are spending things, so you might want to knock it down. So I said, okay, as a president of them, I will take the $27. I'll pay that towards them coming in, and it'll be $50. However, energy exchange. That's about me, about that what is it, imposter syndrome, where I've got to be able to understand that me putting out this good information in exchange spiritually about also payment and paying for my talents and helping and all that stuff. So that's something that I have to learn and work with too as well. But it's going to be great. I'm excited about doing it. That's one of my dharmas, which is educator and warrior. So this is like two things that I love teaching. And when I seen this, I was like, oh, they got to get this information, because this is really, really needed for us, especially at this time, and we're going into a new year. So we will be set and ready to know and say, I see it happening. Let me get myself back on the get off that exit and keep on going to the expressway, because that's not my exit, because I'm missing the mark. So you go to Divine Unisouls1111.co to go register for the class, and I will give I'll put in the comments on this the code for it, where it'll be $50, and then I'll also put it on. I'm going to do it tomorrow too. I'll also put it on my community tab on Divine Unisouls 1111 too as well.
Okay. Sorry, I got excited. Okay, for when you were bringing the numbers out there. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know, one of my primary and strongest gifts is numbers. And when she was saying that they directed her to leave that to the 15th, they're like, okay, and do this. Um, 15 reduces down to 4. The yeah, okay. 77 14. Okay, they're just telling me how to do it. All right. What it came up with was 414. 414. 414 is it symbolizes 2 bodies, 1 soul.
Ooh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I know that there's a lot of people that have come across said that they see the 414, and that's what it symbolizes. It symbolizes 2 bodies, 1 soul. You got the four wands, four wands over here, and then you got the one. And because we're all the reason why it's the four wands and 4 wands, you would think that you would only need one of them, but you actually need 2 of them because of the simple fact that we have to come in union within ourselves.
Right.
So you've got that union within self, that union, your person, and then the 1 soul. And yeah, anyways, so I don't know what either way. Yeah, they wanted me to tell you all that. So.
Okay. Yeah, I heard somebody did a quote today. They was talking about somebody say they want to be in a relationship with somebody with somebody else, and they say I am in love with myself, and I want to find. I hope I don't mess it up. I'm in love with myself, and I want to be able to be in a relationship that I'm loving myself, and I can share me loving myself in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be again what the union would be about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, your whole, their whole, and it wasn't back the old way. It was 50-50, we together make whole. It's no more about that,
Yeah.
And that's what made me think about when you said about that, the 4 and the 4. It's
Yeah.
like, I got to have my 4s in line. They got to have their 4s in line and together. We can do that, make it happen. That's the 8. So that's again union, and that's also
Mm-hmm. The infinity, yeah, abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're at 101. I've been getting 01, and we were at 101.42. Now, mind you guys, 42. They're gonna get me started on numbers. 42 has been coming up. 42 is the rise of the masculine energy. Okay, that's what 42 is symbolizing right now. If any of you guys are seeing it, that's what, primarily, unless you've asked for a sign with that number, that's what they're trying to let you know. 01 is about expansion. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's not only, it primarily goes with like pinnacle expansion, which is 3D, but I mean that kind of goes along with okay. Never mind. They're saying that lines up perfectly because masculine energy, the expansion in the 3D, it's no longer about 5D. It's now about the 3D, and we're not talking about just their physical bodies. We're talking everything's. Thank you, divine. Thank you, universe. You guys, stuff's happening. It's just saying shit's about to hit the fan, and just be happy that's going to do it.
All right, now, yeah, that's what my mom was talking about. She's like, something gonna happen on 12/15.
It's not bad stuff either. Just know, let's get this work done.
She's like, they think some big event gonna happen on 12/15. I was like, okay.
If I let them just continue, and I don't mean to cut them off, that I know that it's going to come out eventually, but if I did, we'd be sitting here for another 3 hours, and my butt's kind of sore. So
I heard you table that. Record that. I got you. This has really been fun. I've had fun. I mean, I've been sitting there like a proud, I don't know, the way, and Stephanie says godmother, but I've been proud because, like I said, I have labeled you reporter on the street. You're doing these these interviews, like you really are truly. Like I said, I was teasing even on one of my readings, Barbara Walters or Gail King. You've been interviewing everybody. I remember from the beginning, she was like, okay, 1 or 2, 3 sentences. And I said, now look at her. Now she's like, I'm scared. I can't do it. Now I'm doing interviews. And I'm like, oh my God, I am just so proud. Just busted with and just love and saying, my God, thank you. Look at how far this journey has brought her, that she's now doing interviews. I mean, you just don't know.
A long way.
A long way. I'm so proud of her. Look at her.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Mission, baby. Mission.
Yes, that's right. And I know what's going to happen after this. I know. We already know. So thank you so very much on that. And following spirit and guiding you to say, to do these things. And I just bless, even put my blessing over all these interviews. May everybody find something, a nugget or whatever it is to everybody's interview that will help them to be able to find the answers that they're seeking. Because I know why spirit led each one of you all to, if you're watching these videos, there's something that you're looking for that will click and open up, or seeming like turning the key, unlocking, so you can be able to get that, so you can move on in power and to be able to expand and move more so into your heart.
Exactly. That's the goal for this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. We're going to say goodnight. I'll get this uploaded in the morning, and after this, it is our very own Kathy D. So.
All right, then, Kathy, go do it. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay in Sydney, Dallas State. Mama go.